Figgy Fiends and Collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Star Wars figure review. And today we're not going to be having a look at Black Series. Oh, no. Not even Vintage Collection. This is an item produced by Disney themselves and was for their D23 event, of which has now been and gone. For those of you who don't know, D23 is basically the big marketing showcase that Disney does every year. D standing for, of course, Disney, and 23 being 1923, the year that Walt Disney founded what would ultimately be the Walt Disney Company. As such, there are exclusives at this event, and any dregs that are left over are sold to peasants like you and I. As such, Star Wars wise, they had the Kylo Ren helmet, of which is based on its Rise of Skywalker appearance, interestingly enough, with the red cracking. Ochi of Bastoon's dagger. Not sure why, but it's very cool nonetheless. This item that I'm going to review today, of which I'm keeping in black because bit of suspense, and the item that I would have really liked to be talking about in this video, but alas, it was limited to a certain amount of copies, and naturally everybody wanted this. So much so that any dregs didn't even make it to UK shores, as to what online would have us believe as well. The Star Speeder 3000, based off of the Walt Disney Parks ride. There's an immense amount of nostalgia for me with that one, because I've actually been on that ride years and years ago when I went to Disneyland, Florida, but I remember it distinctly. It was just an incredible experience, and to own a 3 3/4 inch scaled vehicle of it, which actually fits your figgies to scale, it's insane. It puts a lot of Hasbro vehicles, at least to recent date, to utter shame. Why? Because it has LED lights, sounds, a display stand, 2 copies of a figure so that you don't have to dismantle it out of the packaging, but then you've got a copy of the figure to play with, an LED screen playing clips from the ride. It is... I don't have it, but it's the perfect toy. Perfect Star Wars product. And granted, the price point is absolutely chef's kiss on this thing. $300. And, well, they made 3,000 units of it as well, so it's exceedingly limited. I really hope they do a rerun of this, maybe in a slightly less exclusive a way. I'm not sure how, but alas, it probably makes sense how they could make this, because of course Disney wouldn't need to pay any licensing fees, which Hasbro probably would have if they were to do a product like this. Of course, Disney owns the rights, so little bit bitter taste. Anyone who has this, you are a lucky duck. And so I had to settle with the next best thing, and to be honest, I would have probably got this anyway if I could have got my hands on that vehicle, because it would have accompanied it just very nicely. I am of course referring to the RX-24, which we will be taking a look at today. First and foremost, as always, we'll be taking a look at the packaging and then the figgy itself. So of course, as you can see here, is a open window style packaging. You've got some of the features pointed out and labelled on the box there. This is part of the Power Force line of Disney Store figures. We've seen R2-D2 and C-3PO branded in this style for May the 4th. I didn't actually pick those figures up, but they look very, very cool. You've got a nice picture of RX-24 just there, the actual prop that you see on the ride, at least when it was on the ride. You've also got a try me notation just there, because there is a button of which will activate the lights and sounds. You've got some legal MacGuffle at the bottom there, and the background sort of packaging style, and you've got this very sort of Star Wars wrapping paper kind of patternage with different characters and things. And then of course you've got Rex there, just a nice bigger picture of him. On the back you've got a picture of the actual figure itself, rundown of features, and a ton of legal garb. On the other side, not really much going on other than the Star Wars logo and that pattern going on there as well. Same at the top. But at the bottom, you do have a little pamphlet stuck onto the box. Kind of interesting they didn't have that as an insert inside the box itself. It's just been stuck on. Was this an afterthought? I don't know. Sound off. It just tells you about the battery compartment. I'm assuming it's instructions as well. But yeah, that is basically the packaging out the way and done with. Nothing too amazing to really ring home about. I think most people are going to want to get this ripped open and put on display. So without further ado, let's get into that.
Now, in a kingdom very near.
R2, do hurry. The passengers are boarding.
Prepare yourselves
Welcome aboard.
for the newest thrill attraction from the imaginations of Disney and George Lucas. Because now, the adventure is real. Star Tours. The newest thrill in the universe at Disneyland.
So here we have RX-24 out of the packaging and in hand, and I have to say this thing is really, really cool. It's certainly not going to scale up particularly well with a lot of figures in your collection, but if you're looking for a nice representation of Captain Rex, the OG Captain Rex, not to be twisted with the other one,
Roger, Roger,
then you're going to be very, very happy with this. So just moving in and getting a close-up on him, RX-24 is voiced by Paul Rubens.
Okay!
Of Pee Wee Herman fame. All the sound effects have been taken from the Star Tours ride, at least when RX was in the piloting seat and not C-3PO.
201, cleared for takeoff. Contact departure on frequency 429er.
Wait! R2-D2, I am not programmed to fly these things.
Because that's a change that they've done over the years. Of course, the prop has been retired in various different ways, really. As you're entering the ride, you can see him inside a crate. Additionally as well, or canonically, you can see him at Ogre's Cantina. Now with a brand spanking new paint application with some very cool headphones, playing the hottest tunes in the galaxy as you chow down. If we move down, of course you can see all his various arms and appendages, and then the base of the figure. Worth noting as well that you've got some insignia there. I'm guessing that's for Star Tours, although I could be wrong. Just very, very cool. At the bottom there is some wheels, so you can sort of roll around, I guess. Very squeaky though, I do have to say. In terms of the head, there's some LED lights in there, so there is a bit of limitation in terms of the posability on that, but if you do press the button, then that does activate the lights and sounds.
Hey! Sorry, folks. I'm sure to do better next time. It was my first flight, and I'm still getting used to my programming. Hey!
So I believe these are all sort of random as you press.
Ladies and gentlemen, there may be some turbulence up ahead. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened.
So that's just really, really cool that they've been able to obtain the original sound files and put it in this figure, and likewise with the Star Speeder if you're lucky enough to get your hands on it. So if we just press that button again,
Hi there. I see they're loading our navigator R2-D2, and then we'll be on our way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Okay. I've always wanted to do this. We're going in. Yay! I have a very bad feeling about this. I meant to do that. A little shortcut. R2, light speed to Endor.
so yeah, some of the sounds are a little bit crackly, but considering the price point for this thing, I really can't grumble. As a nice little desk buddy, fun quirky thing, this ticks all the boxes for me. Just having a look at the articulation, he does have a drop down visor, as if he's on sleep mode just there. You can flip that up. There is a bit of articulation in the neck, but again, very limited just because there would be a wire running through that. Just at the top here, this does swivel all the way around, and you can swivel the arms as well. There's a hinge, there's a swivel on the actual wrist, there's a swivel here, there's a hinge there, And there's a hinge here and a swivel in that wrist as well. Of course, that centre section does turn. The bottom section does turn independently as well. You've got a swivel in the arm, a hinge in the arm, just a hinge there, swivel in the hand. There's a lot of articulation. I think as well you can, yeah, push the head in like so. So that does move. Just really, really impressive. It's pretty much a scale up of the Black series. If you want to check that figure out, I do feature it, where I take a look at that whole assortment. And while not using that same sculpt, it's really nice that they did include that articulation. They didn't need to, you know, include as much of it as they did, but I'm really pleased they went the extra mile. In terms of the paint application, there isn't really a lot. They've picked out a lot of the details quite nicely. I would say though, the bottom base part is a bit plain. Would have been nice to have seen some more paint application there. To be honest, for £30 at which this retails at, I think that's a really, really good price point for something so quirky. Deep cut Star Wars, that's what I'm always here for, and I'm so glad that Disney actually made this. Now, if we could get a Black Series version of it, because we technically have the sculpt for the most part, Hasbro needs to do a bit of tinkering, but I'd love to see an OG Rex in his original pilot form, rather than the DJ that we see in Ogre's Cantina. I mean, there's nothing stopping Disney repainting this in that orange colour scheme with the headphones as well, and maybe include some of the sound effects and tunes. Oh my god, that would be awesome. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of this thing. Have you picked it up? Are you considering picking it up? Let me know. Sound off in the comments down below. Well, this is me, Daniel East 1000, sign out. Thank you very much for watching.